The son always locked the fridge when his father was away on business. The police trembled as they broke the lock. "Hello, everyone. Enjoy these relaxing moments while you watch. Liam, I'll be on a business trip for 3 days. Remember to lock the door carefully and don't open it for anyone you don't know. Yes, turn on the stairway light at night and don't forget the fridge." Liam nodded. The 12-year-old boy didn't blink once as Mr. Allen bent down to gently kiss his forehead before hurrying out the door. The sound of the suitcase wheels rolling over the tiled floor seemed to echo some emptiness inside him. As soon as the door slammed shut, Liam took a heavy iron padlock out of the drawer and walked straight to the kitchen. "Just 3 days," he whispered. "Just 3 days." The clank of the padlock echoed dully as Liam tightly locked it around the handle of the silver double-door refrigerator. Then he quietly checked every door, every window. Bottom lock, top bolt, safety latch, all secured. The living room light was left on, its white glow flickering slightly, but he didn't turn it off. In the apartment across the hall, Mrs. Lisa was washing dishes, her eyes not leaving the shadow of Liam moving quietly behind the curtain. "There he goes again," she muttered. "Every time his dad leaves, that boy acts like a prison guard." Her husband, Mr. Rick, sat in an armchair sipping coffee. "You're suspicious again, Lisa. Don't you see it?" Ever since they moved into this Brooklyn neighborhood, Mr. Allen always comes home late or is out of town. And Liam, he locks all the doors tight every time he's away, turns on all the lights like he's scared of ghosts. And have you ever seen anyone lock a refrigerator? Maybe he's just got some kind of trauma. That's what I'm saying. So traumatized, he opens the fridge every night just to look, then closes it again. Then he checks the locks for an hour. Mr. Rick snorted, muttering, "Come on, don't let your imagination run wild again." But Mrs. Lisa didn't see it that way. The next morning, while watering her petunias on the fire escape, she saw Liam step outside carrying 2 huge plastic bags filled with canned food and bottled water. The boy moved quickly, head down, avoiding eye contact. Mrs. Lisa frowned slightly. That afternoon, she stopped Liam at the elevator. "Liam, were you at the market?" Liam jumped, gripping the bag straps tighter. No. I just bought a few things. Your dad's on another business trip." "Yes, just for a few days, so you're home alone?" Liam lowered his head, his voice barely audible. "I'm used to it." "Poor thing," Mrs. Lisa mumbled as Liam quickly went back inside. Night fell. The ground floor of Liam's apartment glowed brightly. Mrs. Lisa sat in her living room listening. Around midnight, she heard soft noises coming from the apartment next door. Faint clicks, footsteps, then silence. A moment later, there was a rustling sound, then something like a metal door sliding open. "Rick, wake up," she nudged her husband. "Something's wrong again." "Lisa," Mr. Rick groaned, pulling the blanket over his head. Mrs. Lisa pulled the curtain aside. Nothing, but her instincts were rarely wrong. The next morning, as she was taking out the trash, she saw Liam secretly stuffing something into the public garbage chute at the end of the hall. Mrs. Lisa casually walked closer. A white men's dress shirt stained with blotchy, dried blood on the sleeve. When Liam saw her, his face turned pale and he spun around, running back toward his apartment. "Liam, wait, that shirt. I'm sorry. I'm in a hurry." Mrs. Lisa froze, eyes fixed on the garbage chute. She secretly took the shirt out, wrapped it in a plastic bag, and brought it home. Mr. Rick was horrified when she placed it on the kitchen table. "Lisa, are you crazy? That thing's covered in blood." "Now, do you believe me? Still think I'm imagining things? Maybe it's an accident. A man's shirt. But Alan is supposed to be on a trip. So who wore it?" Mr. Rick was silent. "I'm serious, Rick. There's something really wrong in that apartment. That boy, Liam, I don't understand why he acts like he's haunted, like something is lurking." "You're going to call the police?" "Not yet. I'll wait and see." At the same time, inside the apartment across the hall, Liam sat curled up on his bed. The yellow bedroom light reflected off his pale face and sunken eyes. He stared at the basement door, then glanced over at the tightly locked fridge. "Can't let him out." "Can't," he whispered as if lulling himself. "If he gets out, I'll die." A clattering sound rose from below the floor, and Liam held his breath. He crept toward the door, pressing his ear against it. A soft thud, then silence. "Not yet," he whispered. "Have to wait till morning." Once again, he went down the stairs, checking every bolt. Before returning to his room, Liam stopped by the kitchen, touching the fridge's lock. Still tight, he let out a soft sigh. Across the hall, Mrs. Lisa was still awake. the TV screen casting flickering light on her troubled face. "There's something in that apartment, Rick, don't you see? Every time his dad's away, the boy lives like a prisoner. And that shirt. You think there's someone in the apartment. I don't think. I'm sure. He's still buying canned food," Mrs. Lisa murmured, pulling the curtain aside. "Still the big bottled water, tuna, pasta. Nothing fresh. I've never seen him cook either. He probably just eats simple stuff. No, I've been watching. He doesn't eat much, Rick. Most of it goes down to the basement. How would you know that? I hear it. On the nights Alan is away, there are sounds of heavy things being dragged down the stairs. The sound of a metal door opening, then closing. Other times I hear something like a spoon hitting metal. Once I even heard growling like an animal. Not very loud, but clear. Rick, that boy, he's not living alone." That evening, Liam struggled to carry 2 bottles of water and a bag of canned goods down to the basement. The staircase was pitch black, even though the ceiling light glowed faintly. He stopped in front of the iron door, knocked 3 times. "It's me." "Don't make noise," no response. Liam turned the key, opened the door slightly, then pushed the bag inside through the narrow gap. "This is all I've got. Dad's coming home soon." A raspy voice came from the darkness. "This little... How is that enough?" Liam clenched the hem of his shirt. "I don't have much money. And please don't make noise at night anymore. The neighbors are getting suspicious." A rough laugh made him shiver. "We both know I'm not someone who stays locked up easily." Liam didn't reply. He shut the door, locked it quickly, then ran back upstairs as if afraid that a pair of eyes from the basement were following the back of his neck. The next morning, Mrs. Lisa decided to act. She rang Liam's doorbell. After a moment, the boy finally answered, eyes dark-ringed voice. "Sorry, I was sleeping. It's 7 in the morning." Liam silently nodded. "Are you okay? Your eyes are sunken, your face pale. You haven't been eating, have you?" "I'm eating fine, ma'am. Is your dad coming back soon?" Liam hesitated, then answered, "Tomorrow, so is anyone staying with you?" The boy immediately shook his head. "No one, I'm alone." Then those noises the past few nights from the basement. What were they? Liam looked straight at her, face expressionless. "Our basement is for old stuff. The wind makes the door creak." Mrs. Lisa didn't believe it, but said nothing more. As she turned to leave, the boy whispered, "Please don't pay attention, please." That afternoon it rained. Mrs. Lisa sat by the window drinking tea. Suddenly, a loud noise came from Liam's apartment. She jumped up, eyes tense. A scream echoed faintly through the rain, followed by a bang as if someone had slammed into the wall. "Rick, get up." "What now, Lisa?" "I heard something." A scream very clear from Liam's apartment. The two rushed to the balcony, but all they saw was rain and the dim light from the neighbor's living room. Early the next morning, Mrs. Lisa went out to take the trash. When she opened the public bin, she found a crumpled, rain-soaked note. Curious, she unfolded it. Scrawled handwriting distorted, "Help me. Don't let him out. He'll kill me." Mrs. Lisa froze, heart racing. She looked around, but no one was there. A chill ran down her spine. She quietly folded the note and slipped it into her pocket. "This has gone too far," she whispered. At the same time, inside the apartment, Liam was cleaning dried blood off the basement steps. The night before, the man in the shadows had surged up, banging on the basement door like a madman. He had to block it with a bookshelf and his own small body. "He knows how to pick the lock," he mumbled. "Next time he'll manage it." He pulled a chair over to the fridge, climbed up, took out a large roll of duct tape and sealed the fridge edges tightly. The basement key was placed in a plastic container and buried deep in the freezer. "No one can find it," Liam told himself. No one. That evening, as the streetlights began casting golden rectangles on the window panes, there was a knock at the door. Liam peeked through the curtain and gasped. A boy his age stood at the gate holding a milk carton. "Sorry, I'm Matt. My family just moved in down the alley. My mom asked me to return this milk Mrs. Lisa sent by mistake." Liam opened the door a crack. "Who's your mom?" "Mrs. Lauren. Mrs. Lisa asked her to bake something and sent the milk by mistake. I was told to return it." Liam hesitated, then opened the gate. Matt looked around, frowning slightly. "Your apartment is really strange. The lights are on day and night. Do you need anything else?" "No, just curious. Thanks for the milk." Liam turned back inside. Matt lingered for a few more seconds. "I saw a shadow in the basement door. Do you have a younger brother?" Liam froze. No, then who was it? He shut the door, locked it tight. Liam, what happened to you? He jumped quickly, covering the collar of his uniform. In front of him was Ethan, his classmate, staring at him. Nothing's wrong. Your shoulder, there's a big bruise, and your eyes are black and blue. Were you in a fight? Liam shook his head, avoiding eye contact. I tripped on the stairs at home. Ethan was about to ask more when the school bell rang. Liam rushed to his seat at the back of the classroom, avoiding everyone's gaze. During class, he didn't write, didn't speak, only drew Liam. Mr. Taylor walked over, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. Are you okay? The boy flinched. I'm sorry if I startled you, but you came to class today with a lot of injuries. Is there anything you want to talk about? Liam shook his head, eyes fixed on his desk. The white paper in front of him was filled with thick, jagged black lines. I just fell, sir. But you don't look okay. Would you like to stay after class so I can call your guardian? My dad's on a business trip. There's no one at home. Mr. Taylor paused. Then you can talk to me if there's anything you're afraid of. All right? Liam just gave a small nod, then stayed silent the rest of the period. At the end of the day, he walked home alone. No one accompanied him. His classmates often called him the weird boy. He didn't play with anyone, didn't eat lunch in the cafeteria, always quietly drawing and writing in his little notebook. That day, Matt waited at the school gate. Liam, he froze. How did you know where I go to school? I asked Mrs. Lisa. You followed me. Matt shrugged. Just curious. Is something going on in your apartment? Liam remained silent. Mrs. Lisa said she hears noises at night. Screaming, metal scraping. Someone's in your apartment, isn't there? There's no one. Did someone hit you? Liam lowered his head. You don't understand anything. Then tell me. He didn't answer. Just turned away and hurried off. That afternoon in his bedroom, Liam pulled a black-covered notebook from the drawer. On the first page, in crooked handwriting, it said, Do not open the door. Do not speak. Do not trust anyone. He flipped through the pages, journal entries filled with fear. Last night, he called my name again with a voice soft like a lullaby. I don't know who the real monster is anymore. If I fall asleep and he gets out, I'll lose everything. Liam sat curled up by the window. It was already dark. In the kitchen, the fridge was still locked. The basement was silent, but silence was even more frightening. Suddenly, there was a loud banging at the door. He ran down and peeked through the peephole. It was Matt. Please open the door. No, what's in the basement? Go away, I brought this. Matt held up a sandwich box. Liam opened the door a crack, hand still clutching the latch. Give it here and leave. Matt handed him the box but didn't leave. I saw light from the basement. Liam, who's down there? It's none of your business. Are you being held? Did someone hurt you? No one did. Matt pulled out a piece of paper from his pocket. This your handwriting? Liam froze. It was the note he had thrown in the trash. Help me. Don't let him out. Mrs. Lisa gave it to me. She said, I have to find a way to help you. But you won't cooperate. I don't need help. You do? Otherwise you wouldn't have written a plea for help. Liam gasped. His hands were shaking. Go, Matt, before he knows you're here. Matt frowned. Who is he? He slammed the door. That night, the clattering from the basement was louder than usual. Liam lay still on his bed, afraid to close his eyes. Then a voice called out, Liam. He clutched his pillow, trembling. Liam, are you there? The voice was raspy, warm, cloaked in darkness. He got up, walked down the stairs. At the bottom, the iron door was trembling slightly. I won't be locked in forever. Liam backed away, tears rolling down his face. He ran upstairs into his room and locked the door. Collapsing at his desk, he opened his journal again. I saw him smiling in the dark. He knows I'm getting weaker. I'm afraid I'm getting used to that shadow. Time passed. Liam continued living in a blur of fear and curiosity. Liam, don't go into the basement. But Dad left my paint set down there. I need it for homework. Mr. Allen frowned, his eyes suddenly drifting elsewhere. The paint set. I'll get it for you. Go back to your room. I know where it is. I just need to turn on the light, and I said no going down there. He snapped suddenly, startling Liam. But no one is allowed in the basement without me there. Understand? Liam nodded, backing away, but his eyes remained fixed on the iron door at the end of the hall. His father had never forbidden him so clearly before, and never had he locked the basement with 2 padlocks like this time. The next morning he looked at his father differently. Dad, what's in the basement? That place is for old stuff. I heard someone talk. Mr. Allen froze, then sat down at the dining table, gripping his coffee cup tightly. Liam, there's someone living down there. He's my younger brother. I never heard you had a brother, Carl. He's not like other people. He suffered severe psychological trauma after an accident. I'm helping him, but you can't tell anyone. Understand? Why not take him to a hospital? Carl doesn't like hospitals. He once tried to end his life there. I keep him here. Take care of him. Just a few more months. Once things are stable, you won't have to worry. Then why keep it from me? Because Carl has uncontrollable behavior. He doesn't want to hurt anyone, but sometimes he can't control his violence. I didn't want to scare you. Liam was quiet for a long time. I'm scared now, Dad. One night while Mr. Allen was away, heavy rain poured. Liam was reading when he heard a knock at his door. Not the front door, his bedroom door. He walked over, hand trembling as it reached the handle. He opened it. No one there. Just a folded piece of paper on the floor. Thank you for listening to me. Liam gasped, turned and ran, heart pounding like a drum. The next day he told his father about it. I swear I locked the basement, Mr. Allen said, his eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep. He's not supposed to be up here. I'll add another lock. And you keep your distance, Liam. Carl isn't the same anymore. Maybe he shouldn't be here. You don't understand. He's my family. If I abandon him, who else will take him in? Liam bit his lip. And what about me, Dad? What am I in this apartment? He didn't respond. One afternoon, as Liam returned home from school, he found the basement door ajar. The padlock had been broken. He gasped, his heart leaping to his throat. The kitchen was a mess. Utensils scattered, chairs out of place. Grabbing a small pair of scissors, he stepped carefully, 1 foot at a time. Then a soft chuckle echoed from the living room. Hello, Liam. A man sat on the chair, hair disheveled, beard scruffy, eyes deep and clouded. He wore his father's old sweater, torn and filthy. You're Carl. Yes, he stood up. You've grown so fast. Just 2 years ago, you were the little boy sneaking peeks through the basement crack, bringing me food. Liam backed away. I'm not trying to scare you. I just wanted to breathe some air. Do you know how long it's been living in the dark? I'm not supposed to talk to you, Dad said. So Carl smiled. So what are you going to do? Call the police. Tell the neighbors. Who would believe you? A boy shunned by his classmates alone, afraid of the light. Liam trembled. You have to go back to the basement or I'll scream. Carl stepped closer. Go ahead. They'll come and they'll see your father as a man illegally locking someone in his basement. Who do you think they'll call crazy? You or your father? Liam took a deep breath, trying to steady his voice. I'm not afraid. You're shaking. Suddenly, Carl lunged, grabbing his arm and pulling hard. Liam swung the scissors, stabbing his shoulder. He screamed and let go. Liam fell, hitting his head on the edge of the table. Blood streamed from his forehead. His vision blurred, but Carl's voice rang clear. You little brat, you'll regret this. Liam scrambled up and ran straight to the door. He chased after him, but slipped on the spilled dishes and crashed to the floor. He snatched the padlock, shoved him back into the basement and locked it tight. Panting, tears poured down his face. No one will believe me, but I have to survive. From that day on, Liam was no longer the boy afraid of the light. He became the guardian. Every night, every morning, he lived with the fear that he would escape. He locked the fridge, hid the key, kept a journal, and practiced how to smile without emotion because that was the only way not to fall apart. 1:12 a.m. Liam sat upright in bed when he heard a dull thud from below the floor. He ran to the window and looked out. The gate was still closed, the streetlight still glowing. But that sound, that's not the wind, not a rat. He's trying to break the door again. He rushed downstairs. The iron basement door beneath the staircase was shaking. No, it can't be. He bolted to the kitchen, climbed onto a chair, opened the freezer and froze. The plastic box containing the key was gone. Liam backed away, slipping slightly on the kitchen floor. A long trail of wet streaks stained the tiles. Signs of something taken out by human hands. No way. He turned and sprinted upstairs. Behind him, the sound of creaking hinges echoed. Then the slow, dragging footsteps from the shadows. Liam, were you asleep? He grabbed his phone with trembling hands. The screen lit up with the emergency number 911 to emergency services. What's your emergency? And my name is Liam Garrett. I'm home alone. Someone just escaped from the basement. He's dangerous. He calmed down. What's your address? 18 Maple Street. It's my apartment. Who escaped? Is he armed? He's my dad's brother. He attacked me before. He was locked in the basement. Now he's out. I can't hold him back anymore. It's my fault. We've received your call. A patrol car is on its way. It'll arrive in about 8 minutes. In the meantime, find a safe place. Can you lock your room door? I'll try. Please hurry. He ended the call and bolted to his room, slammed the door, turned the lock. Downstairs, the slow footsteps climbed the stairs. One step at a time. Creak, creak. Across the hall, Mrs. Lisa sat up as soon as she heard distant sirens. She shook Mr. Rick awake. Get up, I told you. The police are here. It's Liam's apartment, isn't it? I knew something was wrong. I knew it. Liam opened the door. He pressed his ear to the door, trembling. That voice, it wasn't shouting. It wasn't angry. It was calm, almost gentle. There's no need to blow this out of proportion. I just want to talk. I don't like the dark. You know that. For years, your father kept me locked down there. You people are cruel, don't you know that? Liam looked around his room. He grabbed a flashlight, a pencil sharpener blade, and a can of hairspray. Then picked up his phone and typed quickly. Matt, cops are here. Carl escaped. If I don't message again in 10 minutes, you know what to do. In the hallway, the footsteps had stopped, but a shadow remained at the door. Silence thick and suffocating. Then a whisper. Liam, you forgot one thing. He held his breath. Your window isn't locked. Click. The latch popped from the other side. Liam spun around. The right window flew open. Cold night air burst in, whipping the curtain. A shadowy figure flashed through the frame, fast, low like a nightmare. He screamed. Carl was inside. I'm here now, he grinned. This time you won't lock me away. Liam grabbed the hairspray and sprayed it straight into his face. He screamed, clutching his eyes. He kicked the door open and bolted down the hallway, yelling, Help! He's out! Someone, please. The hallway lights flickered. He dashed toward the living room, reaching for the front door, but he grabbed his hair from behind. A Carl yanked him down. He swung the pencil sharpener blade, slashing his arm. He hissed but didn't let go. He kicked him hard in the stomach. He staggered, crashing into the dining table. He lunged forward, slammed his fists on the door. Just then, the blaring sound of sirens pulled up outside. Carl froze. He screamed, I'm here! He's here. Boots thundered up the porch. A male voice roared, Police, hands up. Carl fled toward the basement. 2 male officers chased after him. A female officer rushed to Liam, who collapsed onto the floor, his face pale. Are you hurt? Is anyone else in the apartment? Liam pointed toward the basement, unable to speak. In the basement, Carl was cornered. One officer drew his baton. Hands up, don't resist. He laughed darkly. I didn't do anything. I was just staying over. You're accused of assaulting a minor, attacking in the middle of the night. Hands behind your back. Carl held out his arms. Where's your proof? Who's going to believe a delusional little boy? We have the emergency call, and now we caught you red-handed. Carl shrugged. Too late, you don't get it. This is just the beginning. At the same time, in the officer's arms, Liam whispered shakily, In the fridge, there's a key and a phone. A phone? A camera. I secretly filmed him. I kept all the videos in there. Just as Mr. Allen pulled up at the front gate, the police had set up a barrier. He jumped out, panicked, and rushed inside. Liam, where's my son? An officer blocked him. Who are you? I'm his father. Alan Garrett. You're going to have to come with us. There's a lot to explain. Alan frowned. What do you mean? Your son said you knew about the suspect's presence, and you left him alone with him. You need to answer for that. Liam stepped out, wrapped in a blanket, face pale. He looked at his father, eyes shattered. I couldn't hold him anymore. Alan stared at him, then at the wide-open basement door. A look of stunned disbelief spread across his face. A few minutes later, Matt arrived on his bike, finding the whole street lit up by flashing police lights. He dropped the bike and ran. Liam, are you okay? Liam only nodded, tears streaming down his face. He grabbed Matt's hand tightly. Thank you for reading my message. This is the key and phone the boy mentioned, an officer said, handing the scratched old phone to a colleague taking notes. This phone was hidden in the freezer, the female officer confirmed, along with the basement key. It's clear the boy was terrified enough to hide everything like that. Liam sat on the couch, arms wrapped around himself. Matt stood beside him, hand gently resting on his shoulder. Mrs. Lisa approached, placing a warm cup of tea on the table in front of him. "Sweet boy, drink something warm. You've been braver than most adults." Liam didn't speak. He just stared at the phone screen being unlocked. The screen flickered, then displayed a folder of videos titled "First Time, Second Time, Third Time." "How many times did you record him?" the officer asked quietly. "I don't remember. It's been months." The first video opened, footage from a hidden camera in the basement ceiling. The shot was dim, lighting weak, but clearly showed a man huddled in the corner, wild hair and beard, red eyes, whispering, "Open the door, Liam, I can't eat canned food anymore. Just open it a little." The footage changed. Carl began screaming, slamming the iron door. "Do you hear me? You trying to kill me? You'll pay for this." Matt turned away, face pale. The officer paused the video. "Let's look later." Another clip started. Liam, younger than now, was seen slowly opening the basement door a crack. Carl lunged, grabbed his hand, yanked hard. The camera shook violently. The image flickered, but the scream was clear. "Let go, stop." Carl laughed maniacally, yanked his hair, dragging him down several steps. The boy kicked, scratched. Finally, he broke free, slammed the door shut. The camera captured his bloodied, trembling hand, locking the iron latch. Mrs. Lisa burst into tears. "Oh God, how long has he been living like this?" Liam spoke softly without looking at anyone. "Since the first day he attacked me, my dad knew, but he didn't do anything." The police chief frowned. "You mean Mr. Allen knew about this behavior?" Liam nodded. "He apologized, but he still made me lock the basement every time he left on business. I told him I was scared, and he said it would only be for a few weeks. But 2 years went by and nothing changed. Why didn't you tell anyone earlier?" "I tried, but Carl said if I told anyone, he'd kill my dad. He knew my father was hiding his records. He said, if you speak, it's not just you who dies. Your father loses everything too." "What records?" the officer pressed. Liam closed his eyes. "His psychiatric records and his criminal record from Springfield." At that moment, the door swung open. Mr. Allen entered, his face ashen. "Liam, are you okay?" "I sit down," the officer gestured. "We have a few questions. I have the right to a lawyer. You have the right to remain silent. But if there's anything you want to explain to your son, now's the time." Liam stood up. He didn't cry. His voice was soft but sharp as ice. "You left me to live with a monster. Liam, I didn't have a choice. Carl is my brother. He had been arrested before, institutionalized, but if he got transferred again, he might." "Might what?" he cut in. "You were afraid of embarrassment, afraid people would find out our family has a criminal, afraid it would affect your company." "No, I just wanted to protect." "You didn't protect anyone. You handed me over to him. Every time you left, you knew he was there. You knew he had attacked me, but you still left me behind." Mr. Allen trembled. "I thought you were strong enough. I'm a child, Dad, not a prison guard." The room fell into a heavy silence. Matt gripped Liam's hand tighter. Mrs. Lisa turned away, wiping her tears. The officer put down his pen. "Mr. Alan Garrett, we will proceed to review your records. If it's confirmed that you knowingly concealed a criminal's history, you may face charges for complicity and endangerment of a minor. I'll cooperate." Liam looked at his father one last time. "What am I to you? A son or a shield to hide your secrets behind?" Mr. Allen lowered his head, saying nothing. Outside, an ambulance arrived to take Carl in for medical examination. As he was wheeled onto the stretcher, he was still grinning. "Liam, I'll be back." He didn't respond. He only stepped back, eyes locked on him. In his mind, images echoed. The bloodied hand, the screaming nights, the whispered threats. A female officer murmured, "It's all over now, Liam." He nodded slightly, but inside he knew the wounds hadn't closed. At the district police station, Carl was brought into an interrogation room. A senior officer, stocky and tough-looking, named John, sat across from him and opened a file. "Carl Garrett, twice committed to involuntary psychiatric treatment. In 2014, you injured a social worker. In 2016, you were arrested for threatening to kill a woman. The charges were dropped after 3 months because your guardian took responsibility, Alan Garrett." Carl chuckled. "He cared for me. Family, cared or covered up. I didn't kill anyone. I just lived. I was locked up for 2 years. No light, no air. That kid should be grateful. I didn't kill him, though I could have. You think that erases your crimes? Carl leaned in and whispered, "What if I told you Alan did more than that? He didn't just hide my file. He knows how to make people shut up." Officer John paused. "Explain, there was a report that he forced a doctor to erase. I was accused of assaulting a medical worker, but there was no proof. So Alan paid to keep my record clean. Now you all believe that boy. But don't forget he lived with me and he didn't die. You just admitted to unlawful confinement and assaulting a minor." Carl shrugged, eyes hazy. "Worth it." "At least I'll be remembered." In a small room at the Child Protective Services office, Liam was brought in by a woman named Rose. She sat him in front of a computer. The screen displayed a list of files from the old phone that had been backed up. A total of 47 video clips, varying in length, mostly recorded at night. "Liam, you can choose which ones we'll use as key evidence in court." He selected the clips of Carl screaming, his voice shifting, pounding on the door. Then the one where he dragged him down the stairs. And finally a clip where Carl said clearly, "If you tell anyone, I'll kill you and your dad will lose everything." Rose nodded. "Thank you. You're very brave." Liam stared at the screen, then whispered, "No, I'm not brave. I just didn't want to die in silence." Before leaving the police station, Alan was allowed one last meeting with Liam under supervision. He approached standing 3 meters away. He was sitting, his back turned. "Liam, I know. I can't ask for your forgiveness, but I will confess everything, the truth about Carl, the files, what I've done. If that helps ease your pain, I'll do it." Liam didn't turn around. He replied with just one sentence. "I would forgive you if I were someone else." Alan bowed his head and walked away in silence. When night fell over Maple Street, number 18 no longer glowed with lights. The basement door had been permanently welded shut. The layers of duct tape were replaced with fresh paint. But inside Liam, the basement still existed. A basement no police or law could ever fully seal because it lived in his mind, where darkness didn't just have a face, but bore the most familiar name. "I can't stay with him," Liam said firmly. "And you won't have to," Rose replied gently, placing a hand on his shoulder. "As of today, your father no longer has custody until the court concludes. We'll take you to a shelter." "Does the shelter have a basement?" Rose hesitated. "No, and if it does, it's only for storing books and cookies." Liam didn't smile. The 3-story building was painted a soft gray blue, nestled on a quiet street more than 5 kilometers from the old neighborhood. The gate was tall, the trees leafy, and the air smelled faintly of baked goods. Mary was the one who greeted Liam at the gate. She had gently curled hair and a voice as soft as a breeze. "You must be Liam. Welcome to our shelter. No one here will ask too much unless you feel like sharing." Liam stood still, backpack on his shoulders, hands clenched tightly around the straps. "How long do I have to stay?" "As long as you need. But I hope you'll stay at least until you feel like you don't have to look over your shoulder when walking down the hall." "This is your bed," Mary said, opening the door to a small room. Liam stepped inside, glancing at the cream-colored walls, the little wardrobe, the tiny desk. But what caught his attention most was the window. You can open the window anytime you want. And if you don't like locking it, that's okay too. No one enters your room without knocking first. Liam turned around. "Do you lock the fridge?" Mary looked puzzled. "No, why would we?" At my apartment, the fridge was the most dangerous place. Mary sat beside him. "Well, here we start fresh. I promise nothing in the fridge will ever hurt you." Liam pressed his lips together and sat on the bed, still clutching the straps of his backpack. For the first 4 days, Liam spoke to no one but Mary. He didn't go outside, didn't eat at the table, and didn't attend school. Every morning, Mary would just knock and leave a cup of warm milk and a small sweet pastry. "You can open the door if you like. If not, that's okay too." Liam didn't open the door, but he drank. And at night, he neatly left the empty cup by the door. On the 5th day, Mary left a note. "Tomorrow I'm making apple pie. If you'd like to help peel the apples, I'd be very happy." Liam didn't reply. But at 3 p.m. the next day, as Mary was slicing apples in the kitchen, she heard the sound of a chair being pulled out. "Where's the peeler?" Mary didn't say anything. She simply handed it over. Liam took it without looking and began peeling the apples. After 5 minutes, he quietly asked, "Has anyone here ever been locked in a basement? Someone once got locked in a bathroom, not a basement, but they learned how to open it from the inside." Liam looked up. "Were you ever locked up?" Mary nodded. I used to live in a shelter like this. I was 12, my mother had passed away. My father left. But I was lucky an old woman named Anne adopted me. She never asked any questions. She just taught me how to live without bowing my head. Liam kept peeling. I've never known anyone like me. Well, now you do. That night, Liam opened his bedroom door. Mary was making tea in the kitchen. Can I go outside? The door's always open. Liam stepped out. The yard had a small swing and a hammock swaying beneath a pomegranate tree. He sat on the swing, gently pushing with his feet. The moon was dim. The breeze was soft. For the first time in months, there were no growls, no pounding on doors, no shadows lurking behind curtains. Matt texted, "How are you feeling today?" He replied, "Good. No one locks the fridge here, Matt, good. My mom asked if you like orange marmalade. She wants to send you a jar." Liam smiled. "As long as it's not in a metal can, that's fine." The next morning, Mary invited Liam to go grocery shopping. "You can pick anything. Candy, snacks, fruits, juice, anything you like." Liam hesitated. "What if I pick the wrong thing? Then you try again next time." No one gets punished for choosing wrong. At the food section, Liam stood for a long time in front of the refrigerated cases. Another boy quickly opened the door, grabbed a milk carton and walked away. But Liam, he just stood there staring at the cold handle. "You don't have to open it if you don't want to," Mary said gently. Liam shook his head, then slowly reached out and touched the handle. There was no lock, no chains. He opened it. Cold air drifted out, but there was nothing scary inside. Just milk, butter, a few ice creams and cheese. He took a strawberry milk carton and turned back. "All done," Mary smiled. "Well done." That evening, Mary knocked on Liam's door. "Would you like to come to the park with me tomorrow? There's a small book fair." "You like reading, don't you?" Liam hesitated. "I don't have any money." "I do, and today is your pick a day." Liam looked at Mary and said softly, "This is the first time in my life someone's asked what I want instead of what I can endure, and you deserve that." At the park the next day, Mary picked out a children's book for herself, while Liam chose a new notebook with a soft lavender cover. "What do you plan to write in it?" Mary asked. Liam answered quietly, "Nothing about basement." On the way back to the center, Mary gently asked, "Have you ever thought about living with a new family?" Liam didn't answer right away. After a while, he asked, "Have you ever thought about being a mom?" Mary was taken aback. "If there's a child who wants to call me mom, then yes, I'd be ready." Liam bit his lip. "I've never called anyone mom, except the one I lost. But if I called you mom, would it be too much?" Mary gently held his hand. "No, I just feel grateful." Liam looked up. "I'll think about it." That weekend, Mary made spaghetti for dinner. Liam cleaned his plate, then for the first time spoke out loud at the dinner table. "Ma'am, I want to go back to school tomorrow." Everyone looked up. Mary beamed. "All right, I'll file a school transfer for you." Liam nodded. "And if possible, I want to change my last name." "What name do you want?" Liam whispered, eyes glistening. "Liam Ann, like the woman who once saved you." "Liam, the court called me today," Mary said as she stepped into the room carrying 2 mugs of hot cocoa. "About Carl and my father. Yes, they'll deliver the preliminary verdict. I think if you want, you could come with me." Liam set down his lavender notebook. "I think I need to hear it just once." The courtroom was small. Only a few attendees, lawyers for the prosecution and defense, a few officers and representatives from the district attorney's office. Carl, handcuffed, looked thinner than the last time Liam had seen him. His eyes were still red, but the fire in them was gone. Liam sat quietly in the back. The defendant, Carl Garrett, upon review of the submitted evidence, including surveillance videos provided by the victim, witness statements and medical reports, the court finds the defendant guilty of the following: unlawful confinement, assault of a minor, criminal threats and bodily harm. Total sentence 18 years in prison, without the possibility of reduction. Carl smirked, turning his head to find Liam in the crowd, but he had already turned away. The clerk continued, "As for the defendant, Alan Garrett, charged with harboring a dangerous individual, willfully endangering a minor, and tampering with medical records, the court declares the defendant is sentenced to 2 years of suspended prison time and is permanently stripped of custodial rights over the victim. Liam Garrett." Mary squeezed Liam's hand. "Are you okay?" "I don't know, but I don't want him to apologize anymore." I want him to stay silent. That afternoon, Mary and her husband Ethan sat across from Liam in the center's family room. On the table was a folder with the Department of Social Services seal. Liam, Mary began. We've finished all the paperwork. Liam sat still. Ethan smiled and reached out his hand. From today on, you're legally part of our family. If you want to be, I won't have to leave again. No, won't have to live with strangers. No, won't have to lock doors. Mary smiled. Unless you want to study in peace. Liam bit his lip, then let out a small laugh. So I think I want to stay. Ethan opened a small gift box and handed it to him. This is your key to the new apartment. Blue door number 6 at the end of the street. Liam took it, his hands shaking. I've never had my own key before. Mary whispered. Then this is the beginning. Their new home was small but warm. It had windows facing the garden, a backyard with lavender, and 2 cats named Cho and Neve. Inside was a bright kitchen, a large wooden dining table, and what caught Liam's attention first, a pristine white refrigerator with no lock. You can open it whenever you want, Mary said. Food is no longer a weapon here. Liam walked around it, gently touching the handle. He took a deep breath, then opened the door. Inside were familiar things. Strawberry milk, apples, flan, butter, eggs. Nothing strange exactly, just food. Liam closed it and turned. I'll never lock a fridge again. When it was time to pack, Mary asked, what do you want to bring from the center? Liam only took his lavender notebook and a small slip of paper with 1 sentence written on the first line. So I'm not trapped anymore, Mary asked. What about your name? You said you wanted to change it. Liam nodded. I'll keep Liam, but for the last name I'll take Anne after your first adoptive mother. Ethan smiled. Liam Anne, that's a beautiful name, strong, I think so too. The following week, Liam returned to school. New school, new friends. No one there knew about Carl or Mr. Allen. When the teacher asked, where did you go to school before? He simply answered, somewhere far away. A boy named Rebecca, who sat next to him, turned and said, you draw really well. Thanks. I usually draw during recess. Can you bring some tomorrow? I'd love to see. Liam nodded. Something inside him began to bloom like a small seed in a field once torn apart. One evening after the family finished dinner, Ethan said, tomorrow will be our first family grocery trip with all 3 of us. You'll pick the main dish. Liam looked surprised. Me? Yep, each week 1 person picks the menu. This week it's your turn, then spaghetti. Is that okay? Of course. But don't forget a salad to go with it. I'll make it. Mary placed her hand on Liam's shoulder. Every time you say I'll make it, I feel proud. Liam lowered his head and smiled. Because this time I'm doing it not out of fear, but because I want to. One morning, as Mary was folding clothes, Liam walked in holding his old journal. There's something I want to show you. Mary sat down. Liam opened to the last page. The handwriting was small and neat. There was a time when I lived in a basement without a lock, because the person who locked me in was the only one I wanted to trust. But now I live in a home where every door can open, and none of them need locks because no one here wants me to be afraid anymore. Mary gently closed the journal. You're ready. Ready for what? For the future. That night, after everyone had gone to bed, Liam went to the kitchen alone. He opened the fridge, took out a tub of vanilla ice cream and sat down on the floor, leaning against the wall. In the soft yellow light, he opened the lid and took a spoonful. Cold but sweet and real. No more screaming. No more footsteps in the dark. Just the peace of a home that needed no locks. Liam whispered to himself, I was chosen, not kept. Early the next morning, when Mary came downstairs, she saw the opened ice cream tub and a small note beside it. I will live, and this time not just to endure but to enjoy. Liam's story is a powerful reminder that silence is not protection, but a lingering wound. No one, not even family, has the right to gamble with a child's safety or childhood for any reason. Speaking out with courage is the first step to shattering the darkness, and when someone listens with their whole heart, healing becomes real. Freedom doesn't come from running away from the past. It comes from living in the present without fear. If you enjoyed this story, we invite you to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to keep bringing heartwarming stories almost every day. We are very grateful for your support. See you soon.